Okay, let's talk about custom subnetting using Class B. As you recall from a previous video, we custom subnetted a Class C. Now I'm going to show you how to do B. Pretty much the same way, just a little variance. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put up my magic number line. Remember, that's 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. And I'll put the address we're going to use. Okay, now the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, what class is this? Remember, 128 is a Class B. So your next thing is going to be, what is your default that you have to have over here? You need a /16 as your minimum default for this one. So that means you're going to have a 255, 255, and then you've got 16 plus what gets you 20? That's 4. So put 4 here. And remember, come over here, go 1, 2, 3, 4. Add these together, and you get 240. And 240 here. And remember, here on your subnet mask, you have to have 4 octets. So we have one missing, so we'll replace it with a 0. That way we keep all 4 of them up there. Now, remember, we come over here, when we flip our zeros over, 1, 2, 3, 4. The top number here indicates how many networks you have. This one number here is your count number. And now our 2 to the power number, or how many hosts we have, is going to be 2 to the power of 12. And the way we get that is we have to take into consideration this 0 here, which is also considered 8. So it's going to be 8 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gets you your 12 that we have as a power number. 2 to the power of 12 will be your total amount of hosts. 2 to the power of 12 subtract 2 will be your usable amount of hosts. Remember, you always have to have 32 here. So if you add these up, 8 plus 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4 equals 32. Always check that to make sure you always have 32. Okay, now that we have a count number, what that indicates is we're going to start from 128, 123, 0, 0, because remember, every place we have a 255, these two numbers have to remain the same. So what we're basing our custom subnet on is going to be these 2 digits. So we're going to start with 0, 0, and because we're counting 216, it's going to end with 15, 255. Then we start over here with 16, 0, 31, 255, 32, 0. And the count number is represented right here. That's what we're counting by to get each of our segments on here. Now what you do next is you're going to find out what kind of address is this. Well, we're looking at 15255. If you look on here, it's going to be set over here. And remember, this is your broadcast. So that's why you can't use that number. It has to fall in the middle here for it to be usable, and you can't use this number because this is your address itself. So if you were trying to do diagnostics with this particular IP address, the problem is it's a broadcast address. It needs to fall in between the broadcast and the network address, and it also needs to be on the correct segment. So if all your computers are on the 16 segment, and if you put one up here, you got to move it down into here. Everything has to be on the same segment, and they have to fall between the address and or the broadcast. You can have multiple segments. You just have to make sure you know what computers are in there. You can have one with wireless, tablets, whatever you want to. Just make sure you keep track of that. And what we have up here with the networks is you have 16 total networks, and all you do is total networks would be 16. And like what we do here with the host, you subtract 2 for your usables. So if you get a question that says, how many total networks do you have? You would have 16 total. If it asks how many usable networks you have, it would be 14 because you subtract 2 from the 16. On the host, 2 to the power of 12 would be your total amount of host. 2 to the power of 12 subtract 2 would be your usable. Now, for most questions that are dealing with the host, you would typically see it in this format here, because I don't think they expect you to go 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 all the way to 12. So when you do any kind of networking questions, you'll see it within this power structure. So just make sure you get the right number on there. And remember, we got that from this outstanding 0, which we count as an 8, and then we count the 4 zeros over here, and that's where we get the 12 from. And the reason why that number is so large is if you look at this, now it's going to be like your speedometer. Okay, for this number to go to 1, it's got to go 2551, 2552, 2553, and if you do that across to where we have here, it's going to be 2 to the power of 12 total on there. And that pretty much explains custom subnetting using Class B. Thank you.